Thank you for joining us now ahead of the unveiling of Bola Tinubu's cabinet. Intense political pressures are mounting on the president to have as many as 42 ministers. In 2015, Buhari inherited a budget of 4.5 trillion naira signed by former President Goodluck Jonathan, which was considered very high because it was an election year budget by 2023. However, beg your pardon, by 2023, however, the budget has risen to about 21 trillion naira, while the country's debt has risen to over 80 trillion naira. Well, according to experts, Tinubu's administration must cut down on the cost of governance to address other economic challenges facing the country, as the country expects a list of his cabinet members in less than 3 weeks. Well, the cost of governance is a multifaceted concept that encompasses the expenditure incurred by the government in maintaining the administrative apparatus, public services, and institutional structures. Well, in our conversation, iBrandTV examines factors contributing to the high cost of governance and the potential consequences for Nigeria's economy. Well, for more insight now, Sumba Badejoko is a policy analyst. He joins us virtually now. Thank you for your time. Mr. Badejoko, we appreciate you for coming on board.
Oh, good morning, Frank. It's always a pleasure to be around.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me start first by asking you to talk to us, give us your opinion on what you think are the most pressing economic challenges Nigeria is currently facing, and how does the cost of governance exacerbate these issues?
Obviously, the most pressing challenge is how to raise revenue to run the government. We still have huge infrastructural deficits, which we need to reduce as much as possible. This will bring about capital investments, and there's not enough money to really embark on that. We've been borrowing, and borrowing has now stretched beyond limits, which means we have to look for alternative sources of funding. So it is in this view that people are clamoring that the government should look inward on how to generate more funds and also reduce the cost of governance. So that's what is leading the government to really do, and they want to block leakages. And of course, whatever is leakages include subsidy, which is becoming a draining pipe, and some other avenues that the government is supposed to be making money through, and they are not really getting much from it. And the ones we are wasting too are the areas that the government needs to look into. The main issue is revenue. Without revenue, they can't do much.
Let me quickly follow up with this question. How well do you think the Tinubu administration is addressing this issue? With his body language, does it seem that he considers revenue generation as one of the major challenges facing the country?
He knows, and is doing everything he can. For instance, for the first time in the history of this country, we have an SA revenue, a special advisor on revenue. There's a purpose for that, and of course, the person is going to be looking inward and designing marginal ways at which the government can raise up the revenue so that they will be able to fund the budget without borrowing. That is very important if we must move forward as a nation. So that is where I will say that the government, the president, is really serious about raising revenue. And if you go by his antecedents, at least he brought the revenue, the IGR of Lagos, from millions to billions. Meaning he knows what to do. He just needed the right thing to do it. Though Lagos is a small state, just one out of 36, and now he's going to be dealing with 36 states plus the FCT, which is a very huge responsibility this time around. But the larger we have, the greater the chances of the reduction in the amount to be levied on individuals. You just need to expand the tax nets and ensure more people are paying what other few people have been paying, and that will increase the revenue. I believe he is doing something right in that level. But what we are waiting for is now who will be the Minister of Finance, who will be in charge of budget and planning, and who is going to be
Well, considering Nigeria's current economic challenges with regards to low revenue generation, so what are specific areas you think the government spending could be optimized to achieve better fiscal discipline and resource allocation? Because there seems to be quite a lot of indiscipline of resource allocation in the past administration, according to many.
Yes, we have this regime of frivolities and wastages. For instance, we rely too much on imported items, even those that we have local alternative. We still go ahead to import them. The other time, the hate assembly you're talking about, I think it was the hate assembly, that even though we have local car assemblage in Nigeria, an indigenous motor vehicle company in the country, they still go to import SUVs for the lawmakers. You can imagine if that contract has been given to the local contractor, that would have helped in expanding the capacity, and of course it would reduce the budget to finance that particular procurement. So, due to other areas, in terms of budgeting for even food items, you can imagine a country importing toothpick, plantain chips, and all of those things. These are areas that will waste money. Then we have to focus paraphernalia of appointees. I expect the government to reduce that, because these are one of the reasons why we've been wasting money on talking about the cost of governance. They may not want to slide their salary because they too will be paying more because of the inflation rate and this removal of subsidy. But they can still reduce the number of those that will be drawing from this, the treasury in the name of running the government. So these are things that we've been doing. Then we need to tackle security. What is going for defense is too much. A good number of that can be diverted to education, health, which are critical things that will raise our development index. And the government is not looking, they've been giving too much money on defense because of insurgency. And these are things that can be nipped in the bud on time. And we begin to save more money from what we've been wasting on the needless war that we are fighting. And focus on human capital development that will raise the people's standard of living, fund capital projects that will lead to job creation and bring down the level of